Good morning, students. Let's start export trade, its procedure, and whatever the documents used in export trade. Yesterday we did the complete procedure of import trade. Usually students say that they got confusion in between the both of the procedure. The steps got mixed up. For the sake of, if you want to get rid of this problem, do one thing. Today we will learn the export trade as well. Yesterday we have done the import trade. So what to do in that case? Today, after finishing this topic, you have to take a pen paper in your register or notebook, write both of the procedure all together parallel to each other, then identify if any common steps are in between, any opposite steps are there, because whatever the steps in import trade that are taken by the importer as well as exporter, but whenever the international deal is between two parties, one will be the exporter, another will be the importer. So the terms or the procedure that is to be taken by importer as well as exporter has some common steps as well in both. So let's see what are the steps are to be taken in the export trade, what are the different steps are to be taken in the export trade, what are the common steps are there. So after identifying and learning the complete export procedure, we will just make a difference, and it's my request as well as strict instruction to everybody. After completing this topic, everybody has to make a flow chart of the procedure on a pen paper and send PDF to me immediately, as soon as possible. Within a 5 minutes or 7 minutes, you have to send it to me. So let's see what is export trade. It is a vital source to obtain the foreign currency. Why it is considered as a vital source to obtain the foreign currency? Whenever the goods are exported to the another country, that particular country who is importing the goods will get the money as a consideration, and what will be the money will be taken by him, by the country. The country will get the money in the foreign currency with the country, the host country or the importing country is dealing. They are just exporting the goods. They are exporting the goods now. The seller country will get the money in the form of foreign currency. Suppose India is just exporting something to America or USA. What will they do? When they export their goods to USA, they will get the return money in US currency, that is dollar. If it is done with UK, pound will be get by them. Fine. So in this way, we can say the export trade is a vital source to obtain the foreign currency. What is export trade? It refers to the selling and shipping of the goods or the services to the another country. When the goods or the services are to be sold not within the domestic territory, in fact it is sold in another country, then it is known as the export trade. And the trader who just do this or sell the goods or the services is known as the exporter, and trader who just purchase it, it's known as importer. So please underline these points, because these are very important from 1 mark point of view, that you may get the meaning of export trade, you may get the meaning of exporter, and whatever the procedure take place, whatever the formalities take place while exporting the goods is known as export trade procedure. Let's see what is the export trade procedure now. Procedure of export trade. First of all, trade inquiry. Yes, no doubt, as in import trade, we also did the first step, that is the trade inquiry. As importer has to make the queries when the exporter country or the seller is importing the goods. In very similar to that, whenever the goods are exported from somewhere else, when the goods are exported to the another country, they have to get the payment back. So they also have to make the queries. They have to satisfy their query session as well as inquire about the various terms. What the terms can be: the trader who wants to export has to contact some export commission agent and export agent or the export broker. With the help of, he can find out the place where the product is in demand. After establishing the contact with the importer, he explained him to the specification of his product, his terms of payment. Many a time the exporter directly receive the inquiry from the importers as well, and the things which are inquired about by importer, like what the importer inquired yesterday we did done about the price of the product, type of the product, packing, time taken of the delivery, term of the payments, and these are the answers by the exporter. Now, receipt of intent. After having done the trade inquiry, the importer sends the intent to the exporter. The intent is the name of the product. It contains the name of the product, price, quality, packing method, time of selling of the goods, insurance instruction, payment method, etc. are to be mentioned there. If everything is explained properly in the intent, it is called the closed intent. It means the exporter will have to follow the importer's guideline regarding the export of the goods. And if the indent is incomplete and things have not been mentioned completely, then it is called as an open indent. So please, yesterday also we have done the closed indent and open indent. It is also common over there. Credit inquiry. Before proceeding further, the exporter wants to satisfy himself regarding the payment of the goods. For this, the demand of the or the letter of credit from the importer. What he demands? He demands for the letter of credit. We also did yesterday about the letter of the credit that is provided by the importer to exporter, and a letter of credit is issued by the importer's bank in the favor of exporter. You may get the 1 mark question. Who issues the letter of credit to exporter? Please underline the importer's bank issues. Please underline this point. The importer's bank issues the letter of credit in favor of exporter. So the letter of credit bank gives assurance that the exporter can ask for advance payment also from the importers. The details of the letter of credit we have did in the previous chapter. You know very well that what is a letter of credit. Obtaining the export license. After satisfying himself about the payment, the exporter may get the export license. For receiving the export license, he has to apply to the office to the controller of the import and export. Along with the application, he has to deposit a certain fee. The controller of the importer and exporter check the application thoroughly, and after that, having satisfied himself, issues an export license to the exporter. The export license is usually valid up to the 3 months. So after satisfying himself, he just obtained the export license. Declaration regarding the foreign exchange. As per the Foreign Exchange Regulation Act 1947, every exporter has to declare that after receiving the foreign exchange from the importer, he will deposit it in the Reserve Bank of India within a prescribed time limit. But nowadays, the provision does not apply. In 1991, when the liberalization policy of the government come into force, the foreign exchange market was established. Now, this amount, this currency has to be deposited in the foreign exchange market. All these transactions will take place in the foreign exchange market now. Next is the fixation of the exchange rate. Exchange rate is the rate at which the currency of one country is to be exchanged with the another country, because this rate keeps on changing. Suppose actually import and export rate take a lot of time. Suppose you just place your order in January and it is you got it in June. In the 6 month, the currency rate or foreign exchange rate definitely be vary. It will be different from each other. Now the question arises, at which value the rates or of exchange rate the currency has been exchanged. It can be more clear to you with the help of an example. For instance, an exporter exports the goods worth rupees $1,000 and the rate of the dollar today is 50. If today exporter receive money from the importer in the terms of rupee, he will receive 50,000. Let's presume that at the payment he received after 1 month, the possible that the exchange rate either move to 52 or 48. If the rate is 52, exporter will make the extra profit because now he can receive 52,000 in exchange of 1,000 in place of 50,000. But if they at the 48, the exporter will incur a loss, but now he will receive 48,000 instead of 50. The exporter wants he can either bear the risk of the fluctuation or the exchange rate, or an agreement be signed with the bank also bearing the risk for the bank can be paid for some commission. This means whatever the exchange rate is, the exporter will receive 50,000. The profit or loss arising out due to change of the rate will be borne by bank. So it's the choice, but the exchange rate has to be fixed. Whether any profit or the loss due to exchange rate will be arise, it will be considered or taken by the importer himself or whether the bank. If the bank will have this loss, then in that case a commission has to be paid to the bank. Collection of goods. After receiving the order of the goods and finalization of all the terms and conditions, the exporter collect the goods. If the goods are in his stock, they are assorted and duly packed. If not stock, they are purchased from the other supplier. Packing and marking. After the collection of the goods, the exporter pack the goods, mark it, and export it to the importer country. Then practice already prevailing trade are followed. While packing, it should be done in such a manner the goods reach to the destination so safely, and the main objective of the marking of the goods is just for the inconvenience caused in recognition them, because when the goods will be completely sealed and packed, it will be difficult to identify. So marking is compulsory, marking is must there. Appointment of forwarding agent. If you remember, anybody can give me the answer. Which agent has appointed in case of import trade you did yesterday? Import agent. Which agent we have appointed yesterday in case of import trade? In case of export trade, it's forwarding agent. In import trade, is it clearing agent? Clearing agent was there. Please learn whatever we did in the class, make proper notes, then it will be retained in your memory, otherwise it will not retain. Appointment of forwarding agent. When the goods are ready for dispatching, then a forwarding agent is appointed. The forwarding agent take care of the procedure which start from taking the delivery of the goods either from the road transport or the railway transport and loading it on the ship. He charges some commission from the exporter for this work. Now the forwarding agent, forwarding of goods to the port. After packing the goods and appointing the forwarding agent, the exporter transport the goods on the port, and goods are usually sent by the railway, and a railway receipt RR is sent to the forwarding agent, which he takes the delivery of the goods. Now the functions of the forwarding agent at the port. Obtaining the shipping order first, he'll obtain the shipping order. While obtaining, when the goods arrive at the port area, the forwarding agent talk to the shipping company, and shipping company reserves some safe place for the goods, and after this agreement of the shipping company issues a shipping order, and in shipping order the captain of the ship instructed to load on the goods and ship mentioned and shipping order as well. So if the quantity of the exported good is too large, then full ship can be taken on freight. Please underline, and it is this agreement is called the charter party. If the complete ship is taken on freight, that is known as the charter party. Preparing the shipping bill. For paying the export duty, the forwarding agent prepares the shipping bill in triplet. How many copies of the shipping bill are to be prepared? Triplet means 3 copies. Please underline triplet. Triplet means one original and other will be the duplicate. So triplet will be there in the shipping bill. Quantity of the goods, price of the goods, address of the goods are to be mentioned. The number of items are to be mentioned on the basis of the details furnished in the shipping bill. Export duty is determined. After the payment of the export duty, the custom official keeps the 1 copy of the shipping bill with himself and hands over the remaining 2 copies to the forwarding agent. Please mark this point. What is to be done with that triplet or the 3 copies that is maintained of the shipping bill? The shipping bill One copy is kept by the custom officials and 2 copies are to be given to the forwarding agents. Payment of the dock dues. Permission of the dock authority is required to carry the goods to the port and load them on the ship. The dock officer gives the permission only after the payment of the dock dues. For paying the dock dues, dock challan is to be prepared in duplicate. Please underline for paying the dock dues which document is to be prepared. Dock challan is prepared in which form? Duplicate. After paying the dock dues, one copy is returned to the agent as receipt. Now the port officer arranged the loading of the goods at on the ship, and at this time a copy of each of shipping order and shipping bill is handed over to them. This make it clear about the name of the ship on which the goods are to be loaded and the export duty has been paid. Obtaining the mate receipt. Yes, mate receipt is also one of the important concept. That is when the goods have been loaded on the ship and the captain of the ship gives a receipt after receiving the ship. Goods on the ship, which is called the mate's receipt. Please underline what is mate's receipt. This is of two type. And the goods on the ship are in good condition, in good position, and the ship, the person on the ship is satisfied, the captain of the ship is satisfied, then he just give the clean receipt. But if the packing, he is unsatisfied with the packing of the goods, then he just provide a foul receipt. So please underline the clean receipt and foul receipt. Clean receipt is issued when the captain of the ship is satisfied with the packing of the goods. Bills of lading. The forwarding agent along with the mate slip goes to the office of the shipping company. There he fills a form of bill of lading and deposit it with the mate slip and in the office of shipping company. The officer in charge keeps the mate slip with him and returns the bill of the lading to the forwarding agent after signing it. If the freight of the ship is to be paid in advance, then the signed bill of lading is received only after the payment of freight. Details of the goods are mentioned in the bill of lading as already mentioned in the mate slip. Insurance of goods. The forwarding agent make inquiries from various insurance company and after a thorough check and most suitable company is instructed the marine insurance company. Advice to the exporter. After finishing his work completely, the forwarding agent informed the exporter an advice letter. Along with the advice letter, all the required document, detail of the expense commission is also to be sent. So these are the various functions that are to be done by the forwarding agent. When the forwarding agent complete its task and do all the function, after that invoice has been prepared. After receiving the information from the forwarding agent about the loading of the goods, the exporter prepares the invoice. Invoice means bill here. The invoice is prepared on the basis of the terms and the condition decided upon between the exporter as well as importer. For instance, if the freight of the ship and the insurance expenses are to be borne by the exporter, then these will not be added to the invoice. In the invoice, the details like the quantity of the goods, value of good, types of good, indent number, name of ship and packing, etc. are to be given. Next one is obtaining the invoice certified by counselor. Some countries recognize the certified invoice, not the invoice only. Such invoice is to be issued by the trade counselor of the imported country situated in the export country. If the certified invoice is available, the customs authorities are not required to open the whole cargo to check whether the price as per the specification mentioned in the invoice. In the absence of the certified invoice, they can open the whole cargo to check the goods. So what is the benefit of the certified invoice? You have to underline this point. You may get the question in the paper. Then certificate of origin. Many times a country exempt their importers from import duty, and if they import the goods for the specific country, the exemption is available only if a certificate of origin of exporter has been attached along with the invoice. The certificate is issued either by the Secretary of the Chamber of Commerce or by any other officers appointed by the government to do so. Preparing the documents related to the payment. The documents are to be prepared, that is document against payment, document against acceptance, and bills on bank. It is absolutely like that we did in the previous procedure in import trade. Then advice to the importer. After completing all the formalities, the importer is informed about the name of the bank where the documents have been sent, and it is necessary that the document should be sent to the bank only. If there is no problem regarding the payment, then the document can be sent directly to the importer also. Usually the exporter deposit the document in the bank, and bank sends the document to the foreign branch and its agent in the bank abroad. After fulfilling the terms of the payment, the importer release the documents. So in this way, our export trade has been completed. Now the various documents that are to be used in the export trade. The indent, letter of credit, export license, railway receipt, shipping order, shipping bill, dock challan, mate receipt, bill of lading, marine insurance policy, invoice credit, certified by counselor, certificate of origin, and advice to the, a kind of letter it will be to the importer. These are the various documents that are to be used in the export trade. Yesterday we have done the import trade, and whatever the documents are to be used in the import trade. Today we have done the export trade and the documents used in export trade. If you have any doubt, let's have a query and discussion session. And if anybody have any query, please ask.